Good morning, it's Ayya Vimala, and it's Tuesday here, October 27th. Amazing to think that October's almost over. My yard full of squirrels, they're still being pretty greedy out there. I saw yesterday the ones who were left in the afternoon. A few of them were just eating, and one or two of them, I think, had had their fill. So everything they picked up out of the plates, they immediately took and buried. So they're already full and they're just burying things. And what I found out about squirrels is they bury their little treasures and they don't know how to go back to the exact things they bury. But I guess the odds are enough when they're looking for things in the grass or in the ground, they're likely to find whatever some other squirrel buried, if not what they buried. So I find that really interesting. I think it says something that I'm not quite sure about their connection with human beings. So hope they must still carry that in their genetic makeup to go and bury things, even though they really can't get back to their own stuff. Might be somebody else's stuff. This morning, the meditation I want to do is going to be a body scan, but I want to read something. It's very brief because I think we want time for a good body scan. But this was written. This is from the little book that I love so much, Peace and Kindness. These are students of Ajahn Chah, all Westerners. They were living in England at the time. So this is just a few paragraphs. They're talking about they're going from 1986 to 1987. So this is one of the monks. It's Ajahn Anando talking about the end of the year and how people can be feeling at the end of a year. So this is the end of 1986. Perhaps for 1987, we could make a New Year's resolution. We could resolve to spend some time each day, or as frequently as possible, consciously making the effort to be friends with ourselves. To be a good friend, one who accepts, one who supports and forgives. 1986 is almost finished. Just a few more hours to go. It's just been the way it's been, and now we can just let it go. We can learn from what's happened. We can understand that all of the feelings, ideas, and memories that we've had have certain similarities. And what releases us from them is when we see them just as they are, changeable, unsatisfactory, and impersonal. So we release all of these, everything from the year, just seeing them as what they are, changeable, unsatisfactory, and impersonal. Unfortunately, that's not the way most people see things. People tend to believe unquestioningly, people tend to believe unquestioningly in their own thoughts. They believe what they hear and see on the television. They believe the news, the propaganda, without using their ability to discern. And so the monsters become real, and we find ourselves tense and anxious about the future because it can seem so threatening. But what if we take a radical step? What if we just allow the past to be and greet this moment with a transformed, a completely fresh, childlike curiosity? Because it is unique, this moment right here. Our sense of identity, of how we are, That's the old stuff bubbling up and trying to grab our attention, even though some of it may be useful and necessary. But we can begin to see things just as they are, to have the willingness and the courage to let the past be. Let it go. It's all right to do that. Let the fear and the delusion, all of that, let it go. When we look around, what we're seeing is our minds, really. Our perception of the world is just a reflection of our own mental state. And if we're at peace and fearless, coming from a place of stability and security, we help to project into the world a state of peacefulness. Instead of doom and gloom and the dark, threatening clouds on our horizon, we can make it something more peaceful, benevolent, compassionate. This movement of the mind is very subtle. It's just letting things be, letting things go. I think that's wonderful. One reason is because this is 34 years ago, 33 going on to 34 years ago, when he's writing, when he's giving this talk. And it could be when he's preparing for this New Year's Eve. So that idea of letting go, we can make it something more peaceful, benevolent, compassionate. And that's that bodhicitta that we talked about in the book group with Pema Chodron's book last night. That's that open heart, that awakened heart on the way to being completely awakened. And benevolence and compassion, those are what we often call loving kindness and compassion. And when we add wisdom to those, we're in a really good place. So I love that nothing's new. We put a spin on things every year, but I don't even remember. My daughter was born early in 1987, but I don't remember much about what was politically going on. I'd have to start thinking back. I remember the different wars that we've had and the kind of fear being aroused on a regular basis and attacks. It's strange. I can remember after once my kids I had 2 kids, not watching any of the news like that until long after they'd gone to bed, just because I thought the images, I didn't want them to have those images to deal with. But this is, I just flipped open and found this morning, and I thought, this is very good advice. Thinking about, we all are thinking about the election and what kind of, I think most of us are assuming we'll have some turmoil following that, no matter what the results are. But it's good to be able to see that this is how it always is in our history, and we can learn to let it go. And if you want your New Year's resolution, could be to let the past go. Very interesting. So let's do today a body scan, because I think if you're working with your body, it's really the best way to work with anxiety and sleeplessness and a lot of the worries and fears that we have. Often a body scan is a way for us to become grounded and to reconnect with our own, literally reconnect with our own bodies. There are a lot of us who can go around, and if you have a lot of anxiety or fear, you can really be aware that you're not quite in your body. Your mind is all over the place, and it's taking you far away from the grounded experience of your body. And that's when we need to have ways to come back into our body, because that's where we live, that's where we need to be. And most of us have others who are depending on us to be grounded and centered and in our bodies. So one way or the other, and I love what this reading also said, that if we're living in peacefulness for ourselves, this is something that's moving out towards others. It just radiates out, and that's good for the world. We talked about that last night in book group too. That's part of our, I think for everyone in the group, we agreed, because I asked the group, is this part of the confidence you have about your practice, that what we do to develop peace within ourselves and kindness and compassion, that those things radiate out to others. They become something that others feel the presence of. And in that way, it's helping the whole world. One heartbeat at a time, I think. So, these are reassurances that we can, the more we can practice and be the person who's taking on these qualities through what we learn and through how we experience the world, and changing our worldview sometimes even as we go along. So this is important for us. And it's important then to have a sangha, a group of a community where people understand what you're working with, and the people you can go to when you want to discuss matters of the spirit. And I think with the Buddhist teachings, our matters of the spirit are our everyday lives. It's not relegated to a certain time of the week or a certain specific practice, but it's relegated to how we're living our lives. And if we're finding time to go inside and really kind of integrate everything. So let's do a body scan to help us get back into that body. And this is helpful with anxiety and worry and fear, and it's very calming. So if for no other reason, it can be very calming. And if you're having trouble sleeping, it's very good. You can do it at night. So it's good to do it in the morning as well when you're waking up, and you can stretch and feel your body and work with really being present before you start your day even. So I have to clear my throat, so excuse me. So find that posture that works for you, and gently close your eyes. Feel a smile on your face. Let this be a light, something light-hearted, not silly, but just let your heart feel lightened, because many of us probably are experiencing intermittently heavy hearts, and it's good for us to be able to let go of that heavy-heartedness. That's letting go of the past, right? Right at the moment. Let go of a heavy heart. And that's a way for us to experience that letting go, just letting go of the past. So be in a comfortable posture. You might want to be on the floor, putting your knees up so your back can feel comfortable. Even use something to support you, some props or something that make your body feel better. But you want to have your lungs as open and free to breathe. So just begin by observing your body breathing for you. Be aware how our body takes care of us. Just the act of breathing. If we had to remember every second to take the next breath, it might be easy for some of us to forget to do that. We can support the body by having our lungs free to take in more air. So our normal breath, as we've been practicing over the months, we're just naturally allowing our body to inhale deeper because we've made sure that that air is getting down into our lungs. It's not forced, it's natural now. You can put your hand on your belly and feel your breath in your belly. The rise and the fall. Now let the focus of your attention go to the top of your head. And if for any reason you want to stop the body scan, you can come back and just sit with your focus on your breath. But be aware of maybe what feeling you have that wants you to come back just to your breath and skip the body scan. And we're just going to go move through the body, not focusing on body parts, just on areas of the body. And as we move through them, we're going to be relaxing them. There are lots of different kinds of body scan, but I think this is a good one for calming, and if you need to go to sleep or if you need to just check into your body, it's good to do it on a regular basis. So start at the top of your head. And we're just slowly moving through our body. I even like to think when we start at the top of the head, imagine you cracked an egg, a raw egg on the top of your head. And you can just imagine how that liquid would just ooze down your head, covering everything. But this won't feel sticky. Just gradually move, and as you move down through your head, begin with your hair and the scalp, and then you can move in and feel the hardness of your skull and your bones when we get down to the rest of the body. You can be aware of the soft parts of your body, like where your eyes are and your tongue. But just start at the top and move down through the top of your head. Move around. We're observing inside and outside. But if you feel hardness, be aware of that. Be aware of skin. Be aware of different textures, hardness and softness. Be aware of tension or any pain you experience. Anytime you feel tightness or tension or pain, just allow yourself to breathe in. Imagine you're breathing into that spot. And as you breathe out, really allow kind of a big out breath to try to release some of that tightness. Sometimes we can feel it in our face, across our forehead, or through our eyes. And then especially, say, our temples and the sides of our head, wherever if we're prone to headaches, there might be a special area where you're aware of that tension or tightness more often. Breathe into the spot and breathe out, releasing it. Another part with a lot of tension is often our jaw. So just allow your lower jaw to move away from your lower teeth. Just put a little space between your upper teeth and your lower teeth. Let that jaw, that joint, let it drop down a little bit. That can immediately release tension in your jaw, kind of under your ears. Move down through your head into your neck. Be aware if your head feels balanced on your spine, if it feels balanced in relationship to the rest of your body and your neck. Maybe see if you can find a better balance for your head. Move into your shoulders. Again, it's good to look at balance. And is your posture supporting you and making you comfortable? Or are you feeling a need to keep shifting? So shift if you need to work on realigning your posture. That's perfectly fine to do. Move down into both arms, your upper arms. Be aware of the joints in your body, where your bones are jointed. Move down into your lower arms. Into your hands. All the way into your fingers. And allow your hands to be relaxed. Not clenching. Just let them relax. And they can be either face down or face up. Or palms up or palms down. Move back into your trunk, into your chest. We can feel breathing in our chest, but remember we want to feel it more in our belly. If you are breathing primarily high up in the upper chest, that's a sign of anxiety. So just allow your body to take those deeper breaths and allow your body posture to make that easier, so it's just natural. It's not like suddenly we're deep breathing. We're allowing our body bring in more air because our lungs are open. We're not holding our diaphragm with tension. So move down from your upper chest into your upper abdomen. Notice if there's any tension or tightness. It's where your liver and your stomach are. Let that tension go. Move down into your lower abdomen with all your intestines, all your reproductive organs. That's the seat of a lot of our emotional stuff, is that center. Just allow it to be relaxed. No need to hold anything in. Just let it go. And move into your hips. As you're sitting, you can be aware of the flesh and fatty tissue as you sit. And your butt, all those things that are protecting that very important area. But then you can also feel the hardness of the bone supporting us. Be aware if your posture is supporting you well. Sometimes we have pain in this area. Breathe into tightness and tension and pain. And on the exhale, just imagine you're breathing out that tension. Move into your upper legs. Feel the hardness with those big bones in your upper legs. Down into your knees. Down into your lower legs. Awareness of our shin in the front and our calf and the calves in the back. Down into your ankles. Down into your feet. Now you may just want to go to sleep right now, and that's perfectly okay. This is a wonderful meditation to do when you're trying to sleep. But you can also practice with it as a way to calm your body. It can be a wonderful introduction to your meditation practice. So you can do it a long body scan or a short body scan, and it can help you be present in your body. And then that's a perfect time to begin your mindfulness practice, or vipassana, which is insight, or just stay with your breath. And if you're trying to go to sleep, I know it's also good to do the entire body scan from your feet up. Because very often, I know in my experience and from others too, if you start with your feet and you're really moving slowly but doing the same body scan from foot to head, before you even get to your head or get to your chest, you may be drowsing off and going to sleep. Just allowing each part of your body to relax. So tell yourself day in and day out to just keep letting go of things, let go of the past. And let go, that's letting go of that heaviness. And feeling the body, we can certainly be in our bodies and be as light as a feather. So it's not a practice of bringing heaviness into our bodies. It's a practice of being able to be in our bodies and being okay. So thank you so much for being part of my practice. And if you can, keep sitting. Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone at the book group last night. It was really a delight. And I'll be at the temple tomorrow. I'm doing the Wednesday evening practice, which will be Facebook Live. And then Saturday, I'm doing the talk at the temple, and that will be on Zoom. So I'm getting out of my comfort zone. So it's a little bit, it's so different that it's something I've been doing regularly for 13 years. And it seems funny. It's like a big deal doing it this week. But I'm their visiting teacher. Okay, thank you everyone. Have a beautiful day. See you, if not on Facebook Live tomorrow, I'll see you Thursday if you can join me for the morning. Thanks. Bye-bye.